Autism is not a disability. Autism is a superpower. You just don't realize it yet. And that is because you have too many negative perceptions of what autism is. If you have autism like me, I was diagnosed 17 years ago, then at least at some point in your life, you have felt negative about yourself. Maybe it was the label of being autistic. Maybe it was not knowing what the problem was, not being diagnosed, and it led to you self-doubting because you were not like the others, you were not like the crowd. They seemed so mature, they seemed so cool, they got together so well and played sport like normal people, and we just desired to be normal. But then you take a step back and realize, actually, being normal isn't that cool, because being normal is kind of boring. You see, people with autism are so interesting. My brother said it himself. He said to me, if people dislike me, it's not because I'm boring. Autistic people have tendencies to think outside the box and have hobbies that tend to be very different from other people. They don't tend to follow the crowd, and that's a really good instinct. You see, autistic people have so much intelligence and are so capable of bringing the world forwards, progressing society. I've talked about how Thomas Edison, who is believed to have had Asperger's syndrome, created a way to generate electricity, and now I can record on this camera because of that invention. I've talked about how Albert Einstein, with his theories of relativity, have allowed us to understand so much about this world. And now the power's in your hands. You have autism, you have something the world needs. Seriously, we're capable of so much, but here's the problem. You just don't see the positives, and this is why. In school, you are told to be the same as the other kids. Sit down with your legs crossed and listen to the teacher. It didn't breed creativity, it only bred a workforce. It bred an environment that shunned imagination and critical thinking, just for you to conform and follow the rules. And that's not a healthy way for a child to experience the world. Autistic people especially suffer under this system because their mind is still a blank slate, but it's developed very slightly differently to others, in which they have their own interests and think outside the box more. Unfortunately, this means that the system doesn't favour them, that they can't progress in the school that they've made. And what does that disillusion create for them, where they cannot progress in the system they're in, therefore they fall out of the system? Here are the outliers and they don't fit a system, therefore they're kind of detached from the other group here. And this creates problems because they become lonely. And everyone needs social and human connection. That's another misconception about autism, is that autistic people are lonely. That's not true. We need people. We need our friends to spend time with us, learn and enjoy life, because we are social creatures after all. So how do we remove the negative traits from our mind? You look at the achievements that literal legends with autism had. I'm sure Steve Jobs' train of thought when creating the iPhone somewhat involved having autism. Hopefully so, but it's that innovative creative thinking which is the source of all autistic creativity. This is why we have superpowers. This is why a lot of us are good at maths. A lot of us are really good at music, that's a big one. You've got to look at what the greatest people did and realise that you are capable of your own great thing. You should not compare yourself to the non-autistic people who lead normal lives and don't achieve much. You have to compare yourself with the autistic people who achieve things so great that you see them in everyday life without even knowing. Now that is greatness. You have to realise the importance of creative thinking. You have to appreciate the greatness and intelligence of the great autistic people before you can recognise your own greatness. Let some of these great autistic role models lead the way for you and inspire you to do better and achieve more. Perhaps you have a gift to the world which everyone needs, and no one knows it yet. The only problem is you view yourself too negatively because you don't fit in with the others. But that's okay, because you fit in with millions of other people who may have autism and or an interest in the same subjects as you. They want you, they need your knowledge, and you can be the person to guide them in their lives. And there is no greater impact on the world than having changed people's lives for the better. I want you to think about that for a moment and surround yourself with people who are critical thinkers and are as creative as you. I know you'll find those people. Hold these thoughts for now. Take care and see you in the next video.